Sometimes in programming, you want to repeat an action over and over again, maybe even millions of times. We can do this in PHP using loops. The for loop executes a block of code a certain number of times. Take a look at the syntax. It looks somewhat like the if statement, but the code after the word for has three parts, separated by a semicolon. The first part is called the initializer. The initializer is executed once at the beginning of the loop. The second part is called the test counter. The test counter is an expression evaluated at the beginning of each iteration of the loop. If it evaluates to true, then the loop continues. If not, then the loop stops. The final expression, sometimes called the increment counter, is executed upon the completion of each iteration of the loop. Suppose we want to print the numbers 1 through 100 on the screen. We could go about writing hundreds of print commands, or we could write a small loop to do this automatically. We'll start by setting up the basic for loop structure, the keyword for, then the parentheses, and the curly braces. Inside the parentheses, our first expression is the initializer. We'll create a variable called I in this expression. It will only be executed once before the for loop begins. We'll give it a value of 1. The second expression is like an if statement. If true, then the loop will continue, else it will terminate. We want to make sure that the value of I does not exceed 100, so we'll say I is less than or equal to 100. The final expression is commonly used to increment variables. This expression, I++, will add 1 to the variable I at the end of each iteration of the loop. There. Inside the block, we simply print the current value of I. When first run, the parser will create a variable called I. Every time the loop starts, the parser will make sure that I isn't more than 100, and after printing the value of I, it is increased by 1. When I is updated to a value of 100, the number is printed to the screen, and is then incremented to 101. However, the expression 2 is now false, and the loop will not get executed again.